I
Some
get yo.
money.
I get
Trying to
BVO.
grow.
I got BV. I gave B. I didn't told these young brothers. I said they need to look to knowledge of the mind. I done already told them about mannerisms. I mean, I don't know how many more gems you want me to give them. I mean, that's two right there that's
That's what
mandatory.
the people come for. Food, stop gatekeeping.
I mean, I can, you know what I'm saying? I can give you some more, you know what I'm saying?
But see,
He want all the work.
and the reason, I'm gonna tell you this: the reason you gotta push a brother like D3 is because he understands, like I do, like Free does. A lot of us on this panel understand is that you only can make true change within the system. You really can't make it from without because we got too many goofies outside the system. With they beads and they chants, who ain't nobody's listening to. But when I come to them, or one of my favorite stories I read. So the Million Man Marches happened. This is 1963. The Million Man Marches happened. A young minister at the time. People don't know this guy named Martin Luther King wants to do a march on Washington. So they say, okay, cool. Sammy West goes to Frank Sinatra, the biggest star in the world, and say, Frank, I want you to be there to show them some support. Frank said, well, you want me to be there with the blacks for? I'm cool with you, Sammy, but I don't care about that movement that they got going on. And Sammy said, if you love me, then you love my people. And guess who was at the Million Man March in 1963? If you don't believe me, pull up the pictures. Frank Sinatra was there because of who? Sammy Davis Jr. Louis Armstrong traveled around the world living like a king in the 30s. Why? Because he understood that just because someone tries to marginalize you and put you in a certain place doesn't mean I'm not going to put as many people on as I can. And that's what you got to do. You got to figure out how to get in the system and bring your people in. When I first got into the dealership back in 2014, there were no blacks. Only blacks there was the ones washing cars and giving shoe shines across the street at the barbershop. When I got there, it turned into Africa because I understood that we got as brothers, we got to share and share alike. We got to give each other real game and we got to give each other real understanding. What happens is too many
Hey,
black men
nah,
don't
no,
even
no, no,
real.
BVO, that's real talk. I
But
don't mean to cut you off, but just speaking on that, I was just thinking in my head, like, you really the type of dude that I wouldn't even want to have a hamburger around. Like, you that type of
hey, this clown, man. You didn't even knows, man.
You know what I'm saying? BVO the type of dude, he get emotional, he in bully mode, you know what I'm saying? He gonna run over somebody grandma.
No, you sick. I mean, not the man of God. You sick, man. You sick. But of course, we're gonna have somebody say some goofy stuff like that. Shout out to B3, man. But this is the real problem that we're dealing with. We're not having real friendships. You will have two men be friends and they never tell each other the truth. Not, one won't tell him that he got to get a job and take care of his family. One won't tell him, hey, bro, you got to work out, eat right so you can live for your family. If you don't have people in your life that can tell you the truth, your life is worthless. Just
Hey,
got to be truthful in your circle. Go ahead.
I wanted to cook on what you just said right there
Smash
about
the like button. My man Clarence.
about
Don't
two
jab.
friends having two friends and nobody telling each other the truth. I was just talking to one of probably my only closest friend that I have, my kid's godfather. Um, Me and him known each other since 1999, and we became friends because we realized that we were the only two real individuals around the neighborhood that we was around. He was from Philly. I was living in New York at the time, but he would always come up and visit because he had family in New York. And we became close. And he said, out of all the people that I've known throughout my years, he said, you're the only one that's still around out of all the people from New York that I'm still cool with because of our relationship. Because I'm one of those ones that when it came to him, everybody was scared of him. They were scared to tell him what to do. I was not that individual. I'm not going to be scared to talk to anybody. If I see you doing something wrong, I'm gonna let you know. Hey, dog, you messing up. You need to do something right. And he always looked at me for those situations because we would be out, we'd get wasted or whatever. But I was always the one that I would stay sober. I wouldn't get messed up like that. And they felt comfortable around me to where they know they're gonna be in good hands with me. If they get messed up, I'm gonna make sure everybody get home. I'm gonna make sure everybody's straight. And I will always tell him, "Hey, dog, nah, you can't do that." And everybody else would be like, "Nah, leave him alone. That he going." I said, "Nah, y'all shut up. No, you can't do that." And he'll look at me. I look at him in his eyes, and he be like, "Ah, yeah, you're right. Let's go." And to this day, like I said, I'm the only person when he's at that mode. I'm probably one of few people that can tell him, "Hey," and talk to him and get him on the right path because everybody else is so scared of his he has that aura of being the dude that you don't want to mess with. Well, me being from where I was brought up at, I never looked at anybody like that. I didn't care how big you was, how small you was. I didn't care. If I felt like something was going on, hey, I'm just gonna step to it. So me and him, like I said, that you gotta have friends like that. And he would do the same thing with me. He would call me up, "Hey, Free, I hear this is going on, dog. You know that you shouldn't be doing that." And if you don't have a friend like that, you don't really have friends. If you don't have a friend that can literally tell you when you're messing up, you don't have a friend because a friend is going to make sure that you're on the right path because I don't want to be around somebody that's always messing up because if I'm hanging out with this person and this person always going to jail, they might not. We might be around a group of people that don't know us, but they know he goes to jail. They're gonna probably think I've been to jail as well, or he always cheat on his woman. They're gonna think I probably cheat on my woman too. Nah, I don't want to. I don't want to be associated with an individual like that. So I'm gonna let you know, hey, dog, you might not want to do that. You might not want to do that, and he gonna tell me, hey, you might not want to do that. And but you need to have a friend like that because if you don't, then like I said, you really don't have friends. You just have people that's just around you because of what you can give them.
Uh, I'll say this. We got to bring my brother in, my man CDK. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hey, CDK, man, we you missed it. B3 was actually dropping some Jews. Now you know how these light skinned dudes can be. They'll hold them all for themselves. But shout out to B3. He gave us some Jews, man. We need you to give us a few too, man.
I just been listening. I've been listening to everything y'all was talking about. I was just listening to what Free was saying, and he correct 100% about what he said. I ain't got no friends no more. Not on the outside world. All my friends either dead or they in jail. The last of my people, the ones I hung with, came up with, like really, I'm on my own out here now. And it's sad to say that I still talk to them and look out for them and keep in contact with them. But man, I'm glad for some reason God allowed me to still be here. I got a lot of friends, man. They gone right now. They doing time on a RICO for being gangster disciples. And I ain't gonna lie, I spent so much time in and out of prison that I was able to miss, what I'm saying, being a part of that RICO because they really wanted to tie me into it. But I just happened to be locked up so much that they wasn't able to, put me in on that. So that's one reason, man. It made me just look at life different and change my life and slow down. I started realizing, man, that there's more important things than being locked up and doing time. So it just made me focus on doing something different and achieving my goals a different type of way. And I realized, man, if you hustle in the streets, man, if you got that same type of drive in the business world, man, you can get anything you want. And that's what I'm focused on. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't really got too much to say, but I just changed my whole focus.
Uh, I don't know if you guys can hear me. That's definitely a fact of what you're saying. I think. Go ahead, Free. Go ahead, Free. I see you want to say something. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. I mean, but now that you open the door for me to say something, um, yeah, I mean, when you put focus to whatever you want to do, you're gonna do it. Like the same individuals that we see that stands on the street corner, they started off nickel and diamond, but they stayed focused to what they was doing. Eventually, they end up moving up and became kingpins. If they took that focus and focused that into the business world, they could be business owners, CEOs, vice presidents, things like that. It's just people choose to focus their things on what they believe is going to bring them the most value. And some people look at the street corner and that can bring them the most value. They don't realize that you can get a lot of value by being a businessman as well. Or if they do think you can get it, they might think it's too hard to do it that way. But it's the same amount of pressure that you have being on the street corner that you have been in the business world. Business world, you just got to worry about dealing with your managers and your bosses and things like that. On the street corner, you got to worry about the stick up guys, the drug addicts, and you got to worry about the police officers. So you still have same type of hindrance in the street that you have in the business. It's just in the business, it's on the legal side. The street is the street side. So it just people got to refocus their energy to what is positive. So many people focus on negativity and it brings back negativity. If they focus on the positive, you're going to get positive in return. And I think a lot of people is missing that message. They just see the quick cash and they see, oh, I know I can make $100 real quick by doing this. Instead of realizing, okay, if I make this $100 by doing this and I sell it to the wrong person, that $100 could turn into a couple of months in jail, maybe even longer. So I just think people don't think about their actions before they do it. They just react off of emotion. I need to get some money real quick. What's the best way I can get it? And then now they hear a couple of things here and there, and they go what they think is the fastest way for them to get money. So I just think people just need to refocus their energy to something that's more positive.
This is my brother, Dr. Mark. I'll say this though. I remember my cousin, I'm not gonna say his name, he passed away. He used to be in jail and he had a phone and we would talk, I would talk to him every Sunday. And it would get me that every Sunday I would see him. He would have three, 4, 5 pops, and he gonna have him a big sandwich. And he would be sitting in jail, and his TV was like plastic. It was weird. It was like a plastic see-through TV. I don't know if you guys ever seen a see-through TV,
Yeah,
but
I had one.
he be in there eating like a king, chilling like it's nothing. And I'll tell you this, man. I don't think it's by accident that we see in so many videos released from the penitentiary, so many videos of people from the penitentiary on TikTok. My cousin said in jail they would have they had a Wii, and they would get a new game every month for the Wii.
Yep.
So just imagine how many games you didn't got over a 6 month, 7 month. That's 7, 8 new games you didn't got, and people be in jail having the time of their life. I'll never forget when I went to go see one of my guys, man. This fool did not have on prison clothes. He had on polo like we wear. He had the polo shirt on. He had on some polo pants, and he had on some Jordans. I don't know how he got Jordan. They wasn't the night. They wasn't like no Jordans that you would buy. They was like some Mexican Jordans, like where they was like 13s, and you know how Mexican Jordans be the ones they mix together. Anyway, he had all that on. I was thinking to myself, you in jail having fun? I just don't understand what we can do when our young children are seeing jail's no big deal, death's no big deal. People don't realize King Von is dead. This dude
Yeah,
talked about
yeah,
money and unalive blacks like it was no tomorrow, and that brother's dead.
yeah.
Juice
And
WRLD is dead.
we were talking about
He
that on
popping pills, drinking all that crazy stuff. What I'm telling you is that stuff that my man Rock said on "Don't Be a Menace" is true. There is a mission to destroy young men. Young heterosexual men are under attack. Be careful. Go ahead, Free.
no, I was gonna say we was talking about that on the right side
Hey, B, salute.
a couple of weeks ago, and he was bringing up the the jails that they had. I believe it was in Mexico. It was some country. I can't remember the exact country. I think it was Mexico. There was some new jails that they had built up, and they was like, man, they look what they have to live through. I said, that's what they supposed to. It's called jail. It's not called freedom. That's what they supposed to. If you go somewhere, if they lock you up and put you somewhere that you never want to be at, you ain't trying to go back there. El Salvador, that's where it was. El Salvador. If you get locked up and they put you somewhere that you say, I am not going back there, I guarantee you will live your life the right way. And so many people go to jail, and it's so much freedom in jail. You can get an education, you can get degrees and all types of stuff in jail that they're like, man, I got a roof over my head. I get 3 meals a day. I can get whatever food I want from the commissary. When you in jail, it's supposed to be a punishment, not supposed to be a luxury. It's supposed to be a punishment. But the jails in America, it's not a punishment. I mean, they live like a low income person. That's how they live. Like they on low income. It's not like they in jail. They just live like they on low income. But if you put somewhere where you don't want to be at, you'll think twice about doing the wrong thing, because you know I'm gonna get sent back there. And I done seen 4 or 5 people get killed in the first night that I was there. Or I seen a dude was ready to take his own life because he didn't want to be there. You're like, nah, I'm not going back there. But if you had that fear of going to jail, you wouldn't do half the things that you do. Or the people on the street wouldn't do half the things that they do if they feared jail. But they don't fear jail because it's not a punishment nowadays. Nowadays, jail is like, okay, you going on a vacation on a low income budget. That's what jail is like. You going on vacation on a low income budget. What
I'm
you
gonna
got?
say this. When it comes to the jails, I'm gonna say this from my experience. Now, everything that y'all done spoke on, I've seen it. I've seen people get their lives taken in prison. I've seen people commit suicide in prison. I've seen all of those things. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, man, when you wrapped up in this street mess and you know what I'm saying, you living on the devil's playground, it seems like you'll catch on, but you still don't catch on. It got to be something that click in your mind. It got to be something like, man, I had a partner in there. He had 4 life sentences. He had been in prison since he was 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? From juvenile prison straight to the penitentiary. 15 years old. Had never been with a woman or nothing. Can you imagine that? And the man used to sit on my bed all the time and look at me and tell me, bro, I ain't never going home. So even though people see all this stuff they seeing, the perception that you see on there, these people on these cell phones, a lot of the stuff, it might be a little different now. I've been out for a good while now, but it ain't what people think it is in there. There's a whole lot going on in there, and every day, man, your life is on the line, and you gotta be prepared for whatever. But for some reason, it's hard for people to understand, man, or rationalize what you're facing. Like your mama might die while you're in there, your grandma might die. Anything can happen while you're in prison, and you can't get that time back with those people that you lost. Uh, Now they don't even let you come home to go to the funerals of your loved ones. So if your mama died while you're in there, guess what? All you gonna do is go see the chaplain. That's that on that. You're not gonna never be able to see your mom again. There's a lot of things that people need to think about before they make their decision to start doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Some of, like I said, it's not all glamour, but a lot of times it's not as stiff as it should be. It's not as
Well,
stiff as it should be,
I
because, like
agree.
I said, when you get locked up, it's supposed to be a punishment. You supposed to feel like they taking everything away from you. Like, but we so busy on trying to make sure that they have rights while they in jail, make sure that they're being treated fairly while they in jail. Yeah, they can be treated fairly, but they don't need all of the luxury of having the stuff that we have on the outside. Why do they need to see TV? They don't need to see TV. They being punished. When you used to punish your kids back when your kids were small, you punished them. You take their TV away from them. You take the TV away from them, their cell phones, and anything else that they might find luxury in. That's the
But they don't
same
supposed
thing needs to happen in jail.
they don't supposed to have no cell phone. All them cell phones
No, no,
y'all
no.
see.
I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the TVs and things like that. When they can have TVs, they can have radios and stuff like that. I'm saying they shouldn't be allowed to have none of that. It's jail. You're supposed to be punished. You're not supposed to have no luxury.
I'm gonna tell
I
you why
don't.
it's free, and I ain't even gonna lie to you why they give it to them. Because if you don't give it to them, you're gonna have probably about 30 to 40 deaths on your hand per month. Listen, when people, I'm keeping it real with you. If you want the real truth, if people don't have nothing to do outside of just looking at each other, I hate to say it, you're dealing with a whole bunch of animals, man. You're dealing with people. Listen, they come from all walks of life. A lot of people don't even care about another man's life. If they ain't got nothing to do, guess what they gonna do? You. That's just facts, man.
Yeah,
Keeping it
but
real.
what I'm saying is that's why they got 23-hour lockdown. But
Yeah. But
like I
you can't
said,
lock down
like I
every
said,
person 23 hours a
I,
day. That's a whole lot. And I'm telling you, you can't. You're not gonna be able to do it. It's gonna be ridiculous. I know what you're
no,
saying, but I'm
no,
just
but that's the point of it. It's the point of it because if you go somewhere where you know it's some real punishment and you might not make it out of there, you'll think twice about going there. You'll think twice. It's supposed to make you not want to go there. That's the reason for it. It's supposed to not make you want to go there. Some people don't care about going to jail because it's not really a punishment to them. It really doesn't feel like punishment to them. That's why they don't care about it. Like, man, I don't care about going to jail. But if you cared about it and you knew that if I go there, I'm gonna be punished and I might not make it out of there, you're not thinking about going to jail. You're like, hold up, I might go to jail. No, I'm not trying to go there. I'm not trying to go to jail.
let me ask you
So
this, Rick.
that's what I'm talking about. It's the mindset. You got to
Let
change
me
the
ask you this.
mindset.
Let me ask you this. A guy that get his manhood taken in prison. I'm gonna say it like that. I knew this happened to this guy, and guess what he did? He came back to prison. So I'm telling you, it's deeper than prison. There's a lot of stuff that got to be caught out here as well. It ain't just about prison, man. You think I'm telling you some crazy stuff happened to people in prison, and they still come back to prison. I'm talking about crazy stuff that you know what I'm saying, that will scar you for life. I've seen it happen, and I've seen people come right back through the door. So it's hard to say what's gonna make a person change. The change got to be within, man. You got to be willing to, man, just say I'm tired. I want to do something different with my life. You know what I'm saying? Prison is not
Yeah,
gonna real gonna
I
take
get
over.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm not talking about one person here, one person there. I'm talking
I'm
about
talking
the
about one
vast
person.
majority. No, no, no.
I'm
That's
talking
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about changing a person here, a person there. I'm talking about changing a vast majority. If you have majority of the people thinking twice about going to jail, then the prison wouldn't be overpacked because there's less people trying to go to jail or less people doing things that will put them in jail. But when you have people that don't really care about it, they're like, man, I go to jail, I do my time, and then I come back out on the streets. I do my time, and I'm coming back on the streets. But if you go to a place where it's not a good chance that you're going to make it back to the streets, you'll think twice about going to jail. That's
that,
what I'm saying.
anything.
It's not because I know there's situation where it's going to be good and it's going to be bad. But what I'm looking at, I'm trying to change the vast majority. I'm not focused on a small percentage of people still going to do this, people still going to do that. You always going to have that. What I'm talking about is the vast majority of most people are not built the way a small majority of people is built. They might act like that, but they're not really built like that. If you have individuals that know that there's a possibility that you might not ever make it back home, they will change their ways. And that's the vast majority of people. If they know that they might not ever make it back home, they might not ever see their loved ones again, they'll change their ways. Yeah, it's always going to be a small percentage that don't care about it because they're heartless individuals. There's always going to be that small percentage. But I'm trying to change the vast majority.
I'm gonna say this and leave it at this. in order to stop people from coming to prison, we need to figure out what's going on out here on the outside world first. Because most of the things that's going on, a lot of these young people don't care nothing about going to prison for the rest of their life. I can show you, man, 100 people, man, they got 100 years. And I'm just being real with you. This we gotta figure out here what we can do different. The older generation, the OGs or whatever, what can we I heard Crush say something earlier, like what can we do different, man? We just gatekeepers now, as he said earlier. It's starting out here. This is where it started right here. Because most of them are not thinking about prison when they out here pulling guns and taking lives and stuff. They're not thinking about none of that. This is where it started right here before they even step through them doors. What can we do different?
No, go ahead, BBO. BBO.
Maybe you'll
BBO,
sleep
you fell asleep behind the wheel?
again.
He said again. I think something going on with his mic.
Nah, it might be his microphone. Yeah, it might be his microphone. But I know what you're saying, Free. But like I said, it's
Yeah.
just so many, man, these young people out here messed up, man. It's a different day and age. I ain't I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad I retired from that type of lifestyle. But
Yeah,
it's
like I said, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. We so it's too many men looking at other men to be a leader instead of them stepping up and be a leader of their own household. Now I understand that some men are not in the household, but then that just mean that woman got to be the leader, and she gotta step up and be a leader, because there are some strong women that lead their sons in the right direction. And I know
Hold on,
that
wait, Fred. You
I
beat.
know that
Never.
I know there's some strong
Uh,
women
I,
that can't get through to their kids. Some kids are just gonna be messed up. It is what it is. But
there was
if
me.
you take
Can y'all hear
the
me?
initiative, yeah, we can hear you
Yeah,
now.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead, Free.
No,
yeah,
if you take the initiative and and dedicate the time to your family and your kids, and be that leader, a lot of the things that we see going on wouldn't go on as bad as it is. It would still be some bad situations, but it wouldn't be as bad. A lot of things change once the 2000 hit. That's when a lot of things started changing. They started changing all of the laws. They started changing what you can do with your child, what you can't do with your child. When they came out with the whole, and like when I was in New York, and my kid's mother laughed at me because I never knew anything about CPS. And they was like, yeah, CPS is coming to the house. I'm like, what the hell is CPS? We just talk to the people from social service. She was like, nah, this ain't no social services. This is CPS. I'm like, what is that? She was like, Child Protective Services. I'm like, when they was like, when that started? Like, that's always been around. I said, I've never heard of that before in my life. I never knew nothing about CPS. I never knew
because
when I
nobody
was a child, I never heard about CPS. I ain't know nothing about no child protective services. My mother just said,
I'll
if you
say
go or the police, make sure you go home with them.
yeah, definitely.
I'll say
And
this, man.
it,
I think whether it's from the jailhouse or the corporate world, that's what we got to do to come together to understand what's going on. Like when y'all see me hanging on B3 about stuff, it's because yeah, B3 know a lot about the corporate world, and there might be a young brother who's at home or a young sister who want to know how can I operate in there. And it's always good to have somebody with the experience. I got some of the experience, but I got a different thought than maybe B3 do. CDK can tell you what it's like to have one of the greatest comeback stories of all time. They come back when they tried to bury him, and he made a great life. Because one thing people don't understand is when you go to jail, that's forever punishment. If you get a felony in America as a black man, you're going to know forever, you're forever under their thumb. They can search your cars when they want to. They can talk to you any kind of way when they want to. They can do so many different things, man. It's crazy. It's crazy what they can do. And I'm telling you, we got to be vigilant and we got to watch out for these bad faith actors. Just because they're your color, just because they're your skin folk, don't mean they're your kinfolk. Some
yeah,
country brother told me that, and I think we got to take that serious. Just because a mofo look like you, don't mean they got your best intentions at hand. They don't. They don't. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of Uncle Toms running around here looking to destroy young, impressionable brothers and sisters who don't know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm gonna let everybody get their final words. Everybody give me your final words on this one.
Oh, nobody want to go. I just say, man, great conversation. Enjoy the time. I was listening. That's what made me come on stage, man. Doing what y'all doing. Keep hope alive. Maybe things will change soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it like this. My man Pittsburgh T said single mothers he said single mothers epidemic is destroying the black family. We need to fight for the nuclear family. I'm gonna tell you a truth. Black men are not giving up. A lot of black women are putting men to a place where they just say it is what it is. A lot of men love their family. A lot of men want to be there for their family. And sometimes, and I'm not saying it to be right or saying it to be wrong, some men say, yo, it's not worth all this. You can have it. I give up. I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen it. You even got Charleston White saying, F that baby. Go make another one.
Yeah.
They're not saying that because they don't agree with it. They're saying it because that's how people are starting to feel. But I know it's your boy BVO. Give us your final words, Free.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, we got to remember, leadership starts at home. If you want to change anything, the change starts in your own house. You can't change nothing on the streets if you can't change it in your own house. So just I mean, whether you're a single mother, single father, or you got both parents in the house, the leadership starts in the house. That's all.
What you got for me, B3? I think B3 smoking K2 again.
Nah, man. Nah, for a second there, we thought you was asleep, fell asleep at the wheel, and then I was like BVO. He the type of dude that dream about cookout trays and ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
but nah.
a goofy looking dude like you with bug eyes would say something like that. But you know what I'm gonna say? You my brother and I love you. And even though you got a club foot, I'm never judging you because I'm here for you, brother. And I love you. I just want you to know I got nothing but love for you, baby. Club foot or not, I won't let the club foot separate us. We still brothers. What you got for me, Crush?
Already.
I think Crush fell down the steps. We got
And
CDK, I
let me
think.
start off BVO. Shout out to my brother BVO, my brother D Free, my brother CDK, my brother Crush the Legend. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat was popping tonight. Salute to everybody that came through. The Sports Talk Network is popping. Let's do it. We did another one.
Hey, shout out to my man Prize. Prize just took a shahada. Shout out
Oh,
to
he took it
Prize,
down.
man.
Uh,
We love you, brother.
Congratulations.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations to Prize on taking the shahada, man.
Oh, congratulations, Prize. That's fire.
On that note, I'm not sure what time you coming on, Dub. I'll see you in the chat.
Coming on around 11:30.
So don't miss Varnell Hill. He do it for the ladies, man. The Varnell Hill show. Check out my man Dub right side tonight at 11, man. And we gone, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds.